Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope that you are doing great. You are amazing, awesome. And in this video, I am going to go through all of the books that I have read so far. Not all of the books, I'm going to make it a series. So, few of the books I will cover in each series, the recent book that I have read. So, as you know, I am a reader. I read a lot of books, and this video is not going to about any of this video is not going to about review, because if I have to give a review, I should be a very eligible person to give a review, and also I should have a sound knowledge of literature, which I do not possess. But I am a reader and I love to read, and I love to think also upon what I read. I recently I have been in a habit of documenting what I read. So what I do before 2 years maybe, I just used to read and read a lot always. But now I have a different approach. So whenever I like few of the lines from that particular book, I write it down. So far I have been successfully able to fill in one complete big book of all of the things. So I will just show you an example. For example, so suppose this is a book that I read. So I write down all of my favorite lines from that book like that, and in the end I have recently once again added a little bit more thing, and so far I have been read like 7 books in that way. So what I do is that first of all, let me show you. So I go through all of the lines. I also document the number of the line, page on which there was that particular line, and I write down that particular line that I really liked in that book. Then in that way I just go through all of the book whenever I'm reading and I'm on that page. So I will write down the page number, and rather than just marking in a book, because when I mark it in a book, it becomes another reader, or even if I'm going through the same book again, it just captures my attention and I cannot focus on anything else in that book. So I don't like to mark in my books. So I write it down in a separate book. So in that way I just fill it in. Then what I do is I also write a little bit of review. It's not a review, but what I liked about that book, what I didn't like about that book in that way, and what I felt about that book, that I write down after that. And I also make cute beautiful artworks based upon that book. So this artworks based upon that book, this is my recent project that I want to do it. But yeah, in that way I just fill in that book. So far I have been able to write it as that for about 20 to 25 books, and so I will be able to cover in each review maybe 4 to 5 books each, so it doesn't get too lengthy, and maybe you can just have go through of that whenever you like to listen to me or so on. So in this particular review, I want to cover a few books from very recent diary, so that I'm maintaining. So let's go through it. So first book in this diary is The Beekeeper of Aleppo. And pardon me for my pronunciations, because I'm not much good at that, but I hope you are going to like to listen to it. So the first book is The Beekeeper of Aleppo, and it is written by Christy Lefteri. That is the writer of book. So I'm just going through the book randomly, and I'm going to tell few of the lines that I really liked about it. So let me read out few of the lines that I really liked about it. Give me some time. Okay, so on one of the page it was written, Afra's soul was as wide as fields and desert and sky and sea and river that she painted, and as mysterious. There was always more to know, to understand, and as much I knew, it wasn't enough. I wanted more. So here, one of the character is talking about Afra, that is his wife, and what he's saying is that Afra's soul was as wide as fields and deserts and sky. I just feel that these lines are so romantic, and as wide as fields and desert and sky and sea and river. Oh my god, so many things from nature which have a so wide presence that she painted. So, and as mysterious. So he's comparing his wife's soul to be mysterious and wide and mysterious, and there was always more to know. So he's acknowledging that there has been always more to know about his wife's soul, to understand, and as much I knew, it wasn't enough. I wanted more, so he wants to know about her soul more, and that is so beautiful line to read from this book. I just one of my favorite. So, okay, and okay, so one more. But when she was sad, my world was dark. I didn't have a choice about this. She was more powerful than I. So again, he is acknowledging that when she was sad, my world was dark. I didn't have much choice about it because she was more powerful than I. So it is again one of the very, very, very intriguing and powerful lines. So, okay, and then there is one more paragraph. I just want to read about that paragraph in this book. Afra was different before the war. She used to make such a mess all the time. If she was baking, for example, there would be flour on every surface, even on Sammy. He would be covered in it. When she painted, she made a mess. And if Sammy was painting too, it was even worse, as though they had shaken loaded brushes at the room. Even when she spoke, she was messy, throwing words out here, there, taking them back, throwing out different ones. Sometimes she even interrupted herself. When she laughed so hard the house would shake. And oh my god, these words are so beautifully written in this book that I'm such a fan of these words. So about this book, if I have to say what I have written after reading, oh whoa, 1 minute, there is some more things to read. Okay, but when she was sad, so in before pages there was written that how she would paint and how she's so messy, and when she laughed so hard that the house would shake. And then comes few lines. But when she was sad, my world was dark. I didn't have a choice about this. She was more powerful than I. She cried like a child, laughed like bells ringing, and her smile was the most beautiful I have ever seen. She would argue for hours without ever pausing. Afra loved, she hated, and she inhaled the world like it was a rose. All this was why I loved her more than life. Oh, okay. So these few lines in the end are just I'm such a fan. it captured my heart. So these particular lines especially, I have ever seen, she would argue for hours without ever pausing. Afra loved, she hated, and she inhaled the world like it was a rose. All this was why I loved her more than life. So what I particularly like about these particular lines so far I have read is that well, how he is talking about his wife is not about only her physical beauty, but he's talking about her nature and her little habits and her daily presence. And oh well, that's if any people in relation, if they have to talk about each other, then their beauty and their presence and their well, talking about the other person, then to talk about a person's daily presence and to about soul, and to talk about it with so much fondness and oh, okay. Wow, that is amazing. Okay, so what I wrote about that novel just after I read it is that I really loved most of the novel, but some part in between felt too far-fetched. So basically, this is a novel about a war, as far as I remember completely. I'm not going to talk much about the things because this is a book I think I read 3 to 4 months before. So I'm not going to completely reveal the book. So I'm just going to say the things that I really loved. I loved the integration of vital things, details, and relevance. And this book is, as you can see from the title of the book, The Beekeeper of Aleppo. So it is the book of a beekeeper from a beekeeper's angle, and so there is a lot of mentions of bees, honeybees, and so the details even in that honeybees is throughout mentioned in the novel, and that is such a beautiful thing that the author is able to integrate the things about bees and their life with the human life, and that is so much amazing. So it was a book which made me feel intense pain. It didn't make me feel cry, but it made me feel intense pain because of course it is a book about that mentions war, and it's really sadness and pain that the war brings. So it made me intense pain. But it didn't make me cry. Cry is not a pain. This is what I think. Pain is okay. So this is something I have written maybe before 4 to 5 months. So this was my thought before 4 to 5 months, and I'm also going to read it as a new person because I didn't review these things before starting this video. Okay, so cry is not a pain. This is what I think. Pain is something which is very sharp and it pierces, leaving a heartbreak. So pain is something which is very sharp and it pierces, leaving a heartbreak. It keeps on seeping out time to time without completely healing. So this is what I write about pain, and I think I really like it. Means what my thought process was, that I'm going to repeat again because I really liked it. Cry is not a pain. This is what I think. Pain is something which is very sharp and it pierces, leaving a heartbreak. It keeps on seeping out time to time without completely healing. Okay, so going further, I read this novel when Ukraine-Russia war was going, and the impact of war I was able to feel throughout the novel, because I was able to relate the things which were really happening in the world and mentioned in the storyline of a book, which is a history. So it is scary, very scary. It feels barbaric. We come ahead so much time since humans were born. And yeah, of course, I have read another book also, The Brief History of Time. And since humans were born, means actually not born, evolved into humans. And there is a lot of war since then going on from different parts of the world to not sure for what exactly, to exert power maybe. So it feels so barbaric, and we come ahead so much time since humans were born, and we have such a big history behind us. So the past of us is not a past of a one person, it is a past of their whole family, their whole evolution, and evolution since we were human, and before that we have accumulated so much that in ourselves. And so it feels so barbaric. We come ahead so much time since humans were born. Time of progress, achievement seems so futile. So because of this war thing, the times of progress, achievements that we have achieved so far, it seems also futile. And okay, so that's what my thoughts, I think, were on the war, and I think it's since then it not changed, of course. So art and bees are not only outcomes, those are also sign of progress. So I have also written about art because I am an artist. Okay, so art and bees are not only outcomes. So art and bees, honeybees. So art and honeybees have one similarity in between them, and his wife is also artist. So I can just see the plot very so clearly, because his wife is artist, and so because of war, maybe she would have to leave her art little bit behind her daily practice. And bees are also similar, that bees thrive where there are flowers, and flowers always exist in a place that is more green, more peaceful. So a peaceful place would tend to have more flowers, because it is a sign of prosperity, and where there are more flowers, there are more bees. And in the same way, a place which is more peaceful and everyone's basic needs are met, in that place also art thrives, because art thrives at those places which are already prosperous, where basic needs of humans are met and met more easily. And now humans are trying to have a need towards more greater things, the fulfillment of their heart and their soul. And in such places, the existence of art becomes more natural and more progressive. So art and bees are not just outcomes, they are also a sign of progress and fulfillment. Those are the signs of healthy society, because in a society where there are basic needs are met, in such a society, art in any form, such as dancing, singing, many forms like cooking is also art. In today's time, video recording and very aesthetic, so cinematic things, painting, oh my god, there are endless forms of arts, writing and thought process, in any form where the emotions and heart is creativity. So all these things are art, and in such a society, the art really thrives and basking in enlightenment, expressing what is worth, understanding, caring, communicating, living, being. So So art and bees are sign of all of those things. So that is what I thought, and I thought that I have been talking, I think, from so much time. I felt that, oh, okay, 1 minute. So these are the artworks that I had created based upon this book. I don't know if you can see. Uh, uh, so this is the one of the artwork. This is the second artwork that I have created from this book. So I okay, I think I should do this more often, because I have been talking about this particular book for so much time that I think to really add a lot of books in only one episode is not going to work. Maybe I will cover up in one episode 1 or 2 books only, and so this book is it, I think, for this episode, because I think it took a lot of time and I really also enjoyed talking about it. What do you all think? I really love to write down things which I like, I love, because those are so precious, like so much like gems or gemstones or something in my life. The words, they hold so much, not just power, but also they have so much value. Words have so much value in themselves, and when writers write such amazing things, it doesn't only have a creative worth, but it also gives a peek through in writer's mind also, because when it is a fiction, it is not just the truth that writer is telling, it is a truth from writer's angle, a writer's point of view, and it tells so much about the writer also. And I really loved all of the lines that are in books and the thought process that it evoked in my mind. Thank you so much for listening to me, if you are still listening to me. And bye bye, take care, see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and give me a feedback also upon how you are liking this new start of the series. I feel very happy, I feel very thankful. Thank you so much, bye bye, take care.